All right, snack cakers. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Not a lot of you guys showed up for the LeiLani Simon trial yesterday, but that is exactly what we did live on this channel. I typically don't do too many lives over here on Crime Time, but that is exactly what I did. And I have to admit, day one had its ups and it had its downs. I'm going to discuss it, what happened on day one of the trial. I'm going to discuss how it changed my opinion. Also going to discuss Richard Allen and Delphi a little bit. Guys, I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time. Let's get on into it. Let me give you the summary, the breakdown for what happened yesterday. What's going on, everybody? As you guys know, I'm JB Gunner, and this is Crime Time. Now, before we get started, let me first and foremost say thank you to everybody that supports the channel. Hell, any of my channels, regardless of platform, regardless of method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo, PayPal. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day as often as I do for the last 18 years if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. Love you guys so much, and if you too find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Join the Gun Squad. Go support some of my other channels as well, except for the politics one, because I know a lot of you motherfuckers are snowflakes. It's not for you. Not for you. Not for you at all. But guys, yesterday, we had a trial we've been waiting on for 2 years. And to be perfectly honest, I feel like a lot of you guys forgot about LeiLani Simon. It was probably my least viewed stream on this particular channel, which was crazy because it was my longest stream on this particular channel. And you know, it's one of those things where I think it will dictate whether I cover trials live as they're happening in the future, or I just do what other people do and just give you a summary at the end of the day. But either way, it was an experiment on the channel, and today we will be doing day 2 of the LeiLani Simon trial, starting at 10 o'clock, 10:30 with that time frame on this channel. Now, if you guys don't know what the LeiLani Simon case is, it is the young woman, the young mother of 3 from Savannah, Georgia. And basically, her child ended up missing, thrown in a dumpster at a landfill. My initial thoughts of this case all this time for the last 2 years was not the same as yours. A lot of you felt that she murdered him. And my view, once again, is innocent until proven guilty. But my thought process was that this is a woman that took drugs, heavily involved in drugs, heavily involved in jumping from dick to dick to dick. And I said, chances are this is a child neglect situation where she got high, fucked up, and her child probably got into an accident, fell in the pool, something happened that killed little Quentin Simon. And it doesn't mean that she's not guilty, but that would make her not guilty of murder. Do you see malicious murder? Malice murder, which is what she's being charged with. However, yesterday, in opening statements, my opinion on that changed immediately. With the prosecution's opening statement was about 3 hours long. The defense's opening statement was about 10 minutes. And immediately I said, holy fuck, this is going to be a blowout of a trial. And just to be perfectly honest, my opinion now has changed completely on LeiLani Simon and this entire situation. I do believe now that she got angry, she got upset because her boyfriend wasn't giving her any dick, and ultimately she said she lashed out. She got probably high, her child was probably whining, and I believe ultimately she probably did kill Quentin Simon and then go and dump his body. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still a big trial to watch here. So yesterday's trial kind of went in 2 different halves, right? The half before lunch, which was the opening statements, and then the half after lunch, which was basically just interviewing all the witnesses, all the cops that came to the scene initially when LeiLani called 911, or when the boyfriend did, or when the 911 call was made. Basically, the entire second half was the interviewing of them police officers. Now, what we also saw in this was video from LeiLani Simon that she was about to kill herself, or as you true crime faggots say, self-delete, things like that. So basically, what was about to happen is you can see her mental breakdown because she wasn't getting enough attention. I've seen this a million times with bitches. You bitches, for some reason, are so obsessed with you getting attention. And then even worse so, a lot of your entire self-worth and value is based on how many people and how often we want to fuck you. Truth of this is, you have more value to me if you can make a good omelet. You have more value to me if I ain't got to look for my different socks and try to match them. You got more value to me if I know I'm going to have a meal properly cooked because you put in the effort to learn how to make it, learn the recipe, learn whatever. Pussy comes and goes. It's like water to some of us, right? I get it. There's a lot of you that's in sales, but to someone like me, I'm just going to be honest with you. Pussy is like a glass of water. I can take it, leave it. It comes out the sink plentiful. It's not really a problem. Some of you guys, I clearly understand, have that issue. So when I see someone like LeiLani Simon, whose entire self-worth is based on how many people want to fuck her, and then when she's not getting that, I've seen this with a lot of women, they start to lose their fucking minds. And I believe wholeheartedly that's what happened. And she wanted the attention no matter how she got it. It's like a child, right? Have you ever had a child that you're raising and they want your attention no matter what they do? So if they can't get your attention by doing good, they will do bad and even take punishments just so they can get you to pay attention to them. And that, to me, was what I saw with LeiLani Simon yesterday. We will take a look at a couple clips, but ultimately, I will say this. We saw the video where she was going to off herself. To me, that showed her mental condition. She lied about everything. There's so much evidence that she, including footage, she literally got in the vehicle. Step number one, she went to the gas station earlier in the night, around 11 o'clock, and she went in a blanket, with a blanket around her. That's some dope fiend shit. That's not normal people shit, especially in the South at 10 p.m. It's just not normal because even in October, 10 p.m., Savannah, Georgia, that's not going to be that damn cold where you just couldn't put on a hoodie. The people I see outside with the blankets and shit going places, they're shivering too much where normal clothes can't fix that situation. And I automatically correlate that with dope use, right? Heroin or some shit like that where you're just cold for no reason. So when it comes to that, you have that situation. She then went home. Or she went to pick up drugs. And then she went home around 1:30. She left with Quentin Simon. Well, she went again, and that's when she went to the dumpster. I believe she went, and it was a cash app. She paid her drug dealer for $80. She got her dope. She got her drugs. And then ultimately, in my opinion, was high off her ass. Maybe her boyfriend wouldn't wake up and give her any attention. Quentin Simon's crying. And I think ultimately what she did was probably throw something at him, something to shut him up, which, granted, I have a little empathy. I mean, when you're fucked up, I understand things can happen, but this is a lot different than what I initially thought, where it was just somehow neglect and she didn't notice he walked out the door and went into the swimming pool or whatever the case may be. So you see this incident, you see all the lying, and then you see her being interrogated. And LeiLani Simon said something that I think stood out to me and everyone that was watching. And this was actually a repeat of something she said in a news interview. If it comes back later that I actually did hurt my child, I'll turn myself in and I should face the toughest extent of the law. That's not something that a normal, innocent person says. That's like some O.J. Simpson writing the book, If I Did It type shit, right? That's the way I see this entire situation. Sorry, I'm still sick. So with LeiLani Simon, just in the first opening statement, which was a long opening statement from the prosecution. The prosecution, in my opinion, hit it out the park. And I hope, for a lot of people's sake, that the prosecution doesn't hit it out the park like this with Brian Kohlberger. Because this shit, it developed, it connected all the dots. It literally had every location she was in. It was a grand slam. There is absolutely no way possible, in my opinion, LeiLani Simon beats this case. Now, the only question I think now is how she killed Quentin. Why? Was it intentional? I think that's a question that still needs to exist, because to charge someone with malice murder, you need to prove that they maliciously murdered a motherfucker, instead of it just being an accident where she threw a coffee cup and it smacked him in the head or something. You know what I mean? And I get it. A lot of you fucking goobers are going to say, there is no difference. She's going to jail. Yeah, but it does make a difference when it comes to what charge you convict her of, sentence her for, and all of that. That shit does make a difference. It's not a monolith. It's not an all-in-one package. You have to get this shit correct. By the way, LeiLani Simon is fat as fuck now. I just want to make this clear. I just want to make this shit clear. I don't know if you guys saw it, but LeiLani Simon yesterday is fat as fuck. I don't know where she gained all this weight from. It's in the thumbnail. You guys get it. I don't know where she gained all this weight from, but shit, she's eating good in that motherfucker, right? We also had jury selection for Richard Allen in Delphi. Now, the internet immediately coming out with rumors and dumb shit like that. Look, man, I'll get to that in a minute, because the truth is the truth. And the truth has been presented, what happened yesterday. But it's so hilarious to me that how people on the internet can just make something up out of nowhere. And I can't remember the comment I got in the rumor that there was with Richard Allen, but it was some goofy shit. It was some completely goofy shit that wasn't there at all. But we'll get to that here in just a second. Let's go ahead and go here. Let's take a look at what happened in the opening statements as they took place in the murder trial of LeiLani Simon.
Were made in the trial of a Savannah mother accused of killing her 20-month-old son.
Yeah, prosecutors and defense attorneys both presenting their own evidence to the jury. WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole was in the courtroom for us. And Andy, attorneys had two very different strategies.
Very different. Very motherfucking different.
Two very different types of opening arguments. The state choosing a much more polished presentation, including lots of evidence, including police interviews, text messages, even GPS data from LeiLani Simon's phone. The defense, on the other hand, only taking about 3 minutes, saying they will not rely solely on gossip and rumor. They believe the state doesn't have evidence that proves their story.
And that's basically what happened. So let me go ahead and break this down for you guys. Basically, the way this went, after the prosecution went for like 3 hours, which you guys can see on this channel, the defense came up for like 10 minutes, and basically their entire defense was, man, this is all just rumors and bullshit. Are you ready for lunch? I swear to God. Everybody that watched this live with me saw it. They basically just came up, said this is all bullshit, rumors. None of this shit is factual. We're going to prove it ain't true. Are we doing Wendy's or Burger King? It's literally almost word for word how this shit happened, right? And so, like it was stunning. It was so quick, nothing presented from the defense at all. And I gotta admit, the defense is the entertaining lawyers. The prosecution is straight arrow. He's just good at his job. But the defense, them motherfuckers there's a two-man team. And they're entertaining to watch. Now, the second half of this was not entertaining when they were just interviewing the police. Let's go.
The state, on the other hand, took about 95 minutes or so for their opening statements. Now, after those were done, the first witnesses were called. Several law enforcement officers were called to the
There's that
County
video.
Police Department, giving us a glimpse.
There's that video. That's where she was going to kill herself.
into the immediate moments after LeiLani Simon made that 911 call
interrogation.
saying that her toddler son had gone missing. They interviewed her. They showed some prosecutors were able to show some body cam, and then of course questioned the officers. One sergeant, the first responding officer, even testifying that on most missing child cases he has worked, the mothers, the fathers, they are hysterical. They can't figure out what to do.
That's another thing. LeiLani Simon almost showed no emotions the entire thing. And even when they were going back to show like body cam footage of everything, man, even when she shows emotion, it's clearly fake emotion. Clearly.
LeiLani Simon was not that way. Another officer testified the same thing, that mothers are typically hysterical, but LeiLani was not. In fact, LeiLani told investigators that she had not gone anywhere beyond midnight on October 4th. He was reported missing early on October 5th. She had said that she had not left anywhere after midnight, but in fact, after looking through what are called flock cameras, stationary cameras that take pictures of license plates as they pass by them, police quickly realized within hours of Quentin going missing that
she was lying.
In fact, LeiLani was lying. She did not go to bed at midnight, as she had said.
That's
she
right.
had been out for some time. Lots of information from today's court hearing. We are expecting even more tomorrow. They wrapped up for the day. They were expecting another witness, but the prosecution said that witness would take far too long, so
which
they've already
means we
scheduled
got
that
to
for tomorrow morning.
start
at
off
9.
with that
We'll be there,
motherfucker.
continuing our coverage here.
All right, Andy, thank you so much for all that.
Yeah, it means we got to start off with that long-winded motherfucker. Prosecutors in LeiLani Simon trial take 90 minutes on opening statement. Defense is done in less. Let's see what they're saying.
Into the trial of LeiLani Simon. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Greg Coy.
And I'm Brooke Butler in for Shannon Royster. LeiLani Simon is the Savannah mother accused of killing her toddler son. WJCL 22 News' Andy Cole has been in court for every moment.
Andy, two very different opening arguments today.
Very much so.
Yeah, Greg, very, very different. The prosecutors began with a more than 90-minute presentation, taking jurors through the facts and the evidence of the case, telling a story about 20-month-old Quentin Simon. The defense, on the other hand, was finished.
And I'm going to be honest. If you guys really want to see the gist of this case, just go back and watch the opening statements. Watch my first stream from yesterday. Watch my first stream from yesterday. It'll all come to reality for you.
Less than 3 minutes, saying the state can't prove a thing.
When the jury walked into court Monday, all LeiLani Simon could do was cry. She eyed them as they took their seats, knowing once it's over, they would decide her fate.
Yep.
But it all starts with opening statements. The prosecution put together a thorough presentation, walking jurors through the disappearance, death, and discovery of Quentin Simon.
She's essentially tampering with evidence, tampering with the scene, staging the scene to fit with her story before the police.
This stupid bitch, she's got an ADT security, right? And it logs when the door's open and when it's closed. Remember how she said she woke up and the door was open and Quentin Simon was gone? The dumb bitch don't even know how shit works, man. The door did not open until after she called her boyfriend. After she made a call to her boyfriend. It hadn't opened since her boyfriend left for work. This is why I say, man, criminals these days are dumb as fuck.
Ever become involved.
Ahead of Quentin's death, the state argued LeiLani was in emotional turmoil. Prosecutors say she had fallen out of love with Quentin's father, and by extension, fallen out of love with Quentin. Ahead of the toddler's death, the state said LeiLani was on a drug-induced bender, which they argued turned into a volatile and dangerous situation.
Absolutely was.
She begins the cover-up. The cover-up is not just the lies to the police. The cover-up starts immediately.
Yep.
Prosecutors gave jurors a glimpse at LeiLani's alleged lies, backing their claims up with police interviews, text messages, and GPS data from LeiLani's phone.
It was a lot.
The best she can do in her last interview is to claim a total and complete
different story.
Memory.
After an hour and a half, the defense began with their opening statement.
Said she didn't remember if she did it or
just
not.
Strong words.
I don't intend to speak nearly as long as Mr. Dean did.
He
LeiLani's
sure
attorneys
fuck
arguing
didn't.
the state simply doesn't have the evidence to back up their claims.
This whole case
It's just bullshit.
is about rumor, gossip, speculation, and innuendo, and ultimately, the state's bold conclusions about what they say happened but can't prove.
Damn. And then they went to
Now,
lunch.
following opening statements, several of the first police officers on scene testified about their experience.
That's true.
Two of them saying typically with missing child cases, the parents, the mothers, the fathers are hysterical. They don't know what to do.
Out of all the police testimony, that's basically all we got. So the entire part 2 of yesterday was just that. Police testifying to shit like who each cop is and what their job is. It was really fucking boring.
But they found with LeiLani Simon that was not the case. More witness testimony is expected tomorrow morning beginning at 9. We will, of course, continue our gavel-to-gavel coverage. For now, in Savannah, I'm Andy Cole, WJCL 22 News.
All right. So
Andy Cole reporting live from the opening statements.
So we got that done, and we're gonna continue on with the trial here today. Hopefully, you guys come join me. But I want to show you guys something. Guys, remember the other day I took a IQ test with you motherfuckers? Basically, I said, if someone confesses to a crime, is it probable, likely, or unlikely that they committed the crime? Of course, 19% of you goobers said, if someone confesses, that don't mean shit. You just goobered the fuck out. And so I randomly did another IQ test. And I was thinking to myself, if I get that same 19, 20%, it's clear that 20% of the audience is retards. So audience IQ test number 2 says, which of these 2 ice cream flavors do you prefer? Vanilla or chocolate? There is no other answers. It says, which one of these 2 ice cream flavors do you prefer? Vanilla or chocolate? Reading comprehension, that's all it takes. Simple, that's all it takes. And of course, the same 20% that do not believe confessions or even mean somebody's likely to be the criminal, the same 20% couldn't answer this question as it was asked. 20% of you motherfuckers said something else, as if I asked you what your favorite ice cream was. That's not what I said. Which one of these 2 ice cream flavors, I even capitalized 2, do you prefer? And I even said vanilla or chocolate. So many of you people are contrarian, you can't answer a simple question. Like, which do you prefer, vanilla or chocolate? And if you don't have a preference, you just don't answer the poll. Common sense says that. The same 20% are retards in this audience. They just have to be different. They have to be contrarian. You understand what I'm saying, right? Guys, we're going to move on to the whole Richard Allen case. The Delphi murders. Now, obviously, we're not going to have any video footage of this, but the Delphi murders, yesterday was day 1 of jury selection. 14 jurors was selected for the Delphi trial, 14 out of 16. Let's take a look.
Day of jury selection, finally, for the Delphi murders trial now is wrapping up at this hour.
And at last check, there were 14 jurors already selected for the trial, nearly 2,800 days after someone killed Abby Williams and Libby German. Good evening, I'm Jenny Runovich in tonight for Felicia Lawrence.
And I'm Anne Marie Tiernan. Thank you for joining us. On the scene tonight, our senior investigative reporter, Bob Siegel. He's in Allen County. He's been covering the developments in this case for us for years now.
Yeah, he joins us live from Fort Wayne now, where he just stepped out from the courtroom. So, Bob, you've been in there all day. What have you learned?
Bob, you need to get your audio right.
Actually underway in the Delphi murders trial. 16 jurors.
Goddamn, get your audio right.
We now have 14 of those jurors that have been selected for the trial of Richard Allen, and that includes 8 women and 6 men, all Allen County residents from all walks of life, including a nurse, a school counselor, a stay-at-home mom, a transportation director, and a seminary professor. Here's what happened in court today. 52 possible jurors were split into groups and then questioned by both the Carroll County prosecutor and Richard Allen's defense team.
The audio's horrible.
Many of those jurors were dismissed because of their personal biases or hardships that would be caused by a month-long trial. The state and the defense team then agreed on 14 jurors following the questioning. That includes 12 jurors who will make up the formal jury. Then 2 alternates have been selected, and tomorrow The plan is to wrap up jury selection by selecting 2 more alternates, so that there will be 4 alternates altogether. I want to point out, Richard Allen was inside the courtroom during all the proceedings today. He was actually very active, helping his attorneys select the jurors and giving them input about which jurors he preferred. And also, he was wearing a light purple button-down dress shirt and khaki pants. It's the first time.
You better not have let Steve Gonsalves and all the guilters know that. You mean Richard Allen got to wear a suit or dress clothes at his trial like every fucking body else does? Oh, but I guess y'all thought I was wrong when I said that's what happens with trials. Ain't that crazy how I know way more about the system than you people who's never been in the system, dummies? Ain't that a bitch? All right, continue.
In the 2 years since he's been arrested and charged with murder, that we've seen him wearing anything other than a prison jumpsuit. Also want to mention, there was one particularly poignant and somewhat tense moment inside jury selection today. That's when defense attorney Andrew Baldwin stood behind Richard Allen, put his hands right on his shoulders, looked directly at the potential jurors in the jury box, and he said to them, "You guys look at this man right here. Is it really possible that he might be innocent of this crime?" During that time, Richard Allen was staring directly at the jury and smiled at them. That drew an objection from prosecutor Nick McClelland. At that point, both sides went up to the judge, and there was a side discussion. And after that, then the jury selection continued. Also today, inside the courtroom, both sides, the prosecutor and the defense, gave mini opening statements to the potential jurors that were meeting there, including the jurors that have been selected. And that really foreshadows what we're going to hear when the formal part of this trial begins and when the opening statements take place.
What's crazy is the rumor is that they said there was 60 confessions that Richard Allen made. By the way, I don't take that serious. That's just rumor that I'm seeing on the internet right now, and you know I don't believe none of these snack cakers and weirdos. But if that's true, 60 confessions, look, man, you don't get, like, I understand under interrogation, a lot of you guys are like, you could make a false confession. Not 60 of them to your mama and your wife and all that shit. Sorry.
On Friday, I'll tell you what was included in those opening statements coming up on 13 News at 6.
Well,
For now,
what was that?
I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, that's Bob Siegel reporting live for us as that jury selection gets underway today in Fort Wayne at the Allen County Courthouse.
Yes, so many people focused on this. Bob, thank you. Today's jury selection is just the start of a very emotional journey for the family and friends of Abby Williams and Libby German, as well as the entire town of Delphi.
So the girls' families haven't been able to speak to the media very much throughout the legal process. And today, Libby German's grandmother, that's Becky Patty, went online to share some thoughts.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
It's going to be a nut house.
Hold on, recap of jury selection number 1. It's a hell of a long time.
Be able to get that justice for the families.
It's a relief now that there's somebody that is responsible for it.
No, we don't know that. We don't know that.
I've never seen so many twists and turns in a case such as these.
After over 7 years, one of Indiana's highest profile cases begins in Allen County this morning. The trial for Richard Allen is officially underway. It started with jury selection nearly 2 years after his initial arrest.
Allen is charged with the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi more than 7 years ago. WANE 15 has live team coverage, gavel-to-gavel coverage during this 5-week trial. WANE 15's Alyssa Ivinson and Marcus Truccio joins us live on the courthouse lawn.
Hurry up, fuckers.
Yeah, that's right. The court was full today, and the proceedings lasted all day, starting promptly at 9 o'clock this morning. And Marcus Truccio, you were inside the courtroom for all of the jury selection today, so tell us what happened.
Yeah, so like you said, it lasted all day. It went from 9 a.m. until just before 5 p.m. with one 10-minute break. And that time
only
was
one.
taken to screen 52 potential jurors. That was ultimately wound up in 14 jurors being selected out of the 16 needed.
See if they got any more information for us.
So it took 8 hours to question all 52 people, and that's because
That's not bad.
The proceedings are so long because the prosecution and defense both have the chance to screen the potential jurors for any biases or any other thing that would keep them from being able to sit on a jury
that makes
for
sense.
up to 4 weeks. Some of the questions that they did ask were about any potential bias toward law enforcement. A number of law enforcement officers are expected to testify in this case. Another thing that we did learn about witness testimony is that there are expected to be more than 100 witnesses called
What
to stand
the
during
fuck?
the
100
trial.
witnesses?
And the prosecution also wants to make sure that everyone understood beyond a reasonable doubt versus beyond all doubt. Because
Right.
the state just needs to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt, Melissa.
Yeah, Marcus, and a lot of media here around the courthouse green right now, around 10 different stations all doing live reports here at the 6 o'clock hour. And because of this high media attention, we've had to kind of get a little creative and work together, actually, to get the best reporting and get the best information to you. There are only 5 media seats inside the courtroom.
Oh.
Marcus Truccio was in one of those media seats today. But because they need most of the courtroom for the potential jurors to sit, that is why there's such limited seating. So the media has put together a pool to rotate and share the media passes in the best interest
That's
of
pretty
covering everything
good.
fairly and accurately. If you're not in one of those media seats, then there is public seating. I was in and out of that today throughout the day. The media seats in the actual trial in Carroll County, we should have 15 seats for that, though. And Wayne 15 will be in Delphi for the duration of the trial, bringing you coverage from the town as well as
Yeah,
in
hurry the fuck
courtroom.
up.
And we, right now on Wayne.com, have a lot more from court.
You ain't giving a shit. Anyways, you guys see what's going on, man. The LeiLani Simon trial, day 1. I think LeiLani Simon is cooked immediately. I think it's over. Day 1 over. We will be live, continuing the trial coverage today on this channel at 10:30 though. When it comes to Richard Allen, I will also give you an update on him. And during their lunch break today, we'll be watching kind of a long documentary on the whole Richard Allen thing that was presented by one of the local news stations last night, catching us up on everything, which a lot of you guys don't need, but fuck it. It will be a good thing to watch on our lunch break. During the LeiLani Simon trial. Guys, let me know what you think about everything. If you like what I do here and you find my content valuable, feel free to hit the links down below. Support the channel. Join the Gun Squad today. I will see you guys tomorrow, or later on today, and tomorrow with your review from today's shit. But anyway, I'll see you guys later, man. Let me know what you think. Guilty or not? Did you with the LeiLani Simon thing? She looked bad today, didn't she? Tell the truth. See you guys later, man. I gotta get some breakfast.